Hi, I'm Krista, Product Development Chef with Canada's Smartest Kitchen. Today I have Roseanne with me, and we're going to cook pork chops with rice and steamed broccoli. Let's get started.
All right.
So we're going to start with our pork today. We're going to make a bit of a brown sugar topping for it. So we're going to put the brown sugar in the bowl. Just put it right in there. Great. Hold on to that spoon. That's weird. And then we're going to break apart our bulb of garlic. So we want 3 cloves out of this. It's a little bit of work to get into it, but so each one of these is a clove of garlic, and they each have their own, they have skin on them, so you have to take that off as well. So I have 3 here. And the easiest way to get the skin off is to just take your knife, very carefully put it on top, and just press down. So keep your fingers up away from the blade and keep the palm of your hand away from the blade too. And that just pops open the skin on the garlic, so you can just slide your clove right out. Okay, so do that for the other 2. And just throw the skin out. Now we're going to just chop our garlic up. We want it chopped really nice and fine. So what we're going to do is just kind of slice it first. Keep your fingers away from the blade, kind of tuck your fingers under and just slice. So as I'm slicing, I'm keeping the tip of the knife on the cutting board too, just to keep it from sliding around. Slice those. And then once you get it to this point where it's kind of chopped up, then you're going to put your knife, the tip of your knife down again, and put your hand on top of your knife and just chop around like that. And that's just going to chop it up finely. Again, you're keeping your fingertips up away from the knife so they don't go underneath. Keep your hand nice and flat, just until it's chopped finely. Okay, I'm just going to push that off. Okay, and then we're just going to put this garlic into our bowl of brown sugar. And then Roseanne, I'll get you to stir that all up.
All right.
Right. Stir. So look all mixed in. Looks good. So now we're going to add our pork into the bowl. Okay, just put my knife back down. So you're going to get your hands messy on this one. You're going to stir the pork around until it gets all coated with that brown sugar mixture.
No problem.
And you can rub it right into the meat if you like. Get it nicely coated. Go and just push it right into the meat. Push it right in there. And once you have a piece coated like that, you can put it right onto the pan. Perfect. Great. So now if you want, you can use the spoon or you can just use your fingers and just sprinkle a bit on each one of those. Just use the rest of it up. So it'll give our pork a nice sweet flavor when the brown sugar melts, and the garlic gives it a nice bit of savory flavor. And it'll make a nice glaze on top of your pork as well. Good, last one. Looks great. Perfect. And whatever's left over, we're just going to throw in the garbage because it's been in contact with raw meat. And since Roseanne was touching raw meat, she's going to wash her hands now. I'm just going to put this into the oven to cook. The pork is going to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes, and while that's cooking, we're going to prepare our steamed broccoli and rice. So we're going to start with cooking our long grain white rice. So what we have to do first is actually rinse the rice in cool running water. That's going to take off any extra starch so our rice doesn't get too sticky and cooks very nicely and stays separated when it's done. Okay, so now that our rice is all rinsed, we're going to add it to our pot. Okay. Into our cup of rice, we're going to add water. Do you want to add that in? Perfect.
Mix.
And then we're just going to add a half a teaspoon of salt in there as well. Okay. So you can turn that burner on. Just give this a quick stir. Mix all the rice and salt in. So we're just going to bring the rice up to a boil. Once the water starts boiling, we're going to reduce the heat to low, so 2 or 3 on the dial, and then we're going to cover it and let it cook. And it should take about 10 to 15 minutes to cook. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, now that our rice is almost finished, we're going to start with our broccoli. So we're going to take our broccoli to the sink and just rinse it in cool running water. Okay, so our broccoli is all rinsed. So now we're just going to cut it up into smaller pieces so we can add it to our pot. Roseanne, can you take the rice off? It should be all finished now.
All right.
Perfect, thank you. Let's put this pot on for our broccoli. So for broccoli, what you want to use is mostly the heads up here. We can use the stalk as well. You just have to make sure that you peel the rough skin off the outside of it. So you can use a vegetable peeler to do that if you like. For today, I'm just going to cut it off. And we're just going to cut our broccoli florets off. So just cut little pieces. You don't want them to be too big. You want it to be something that people can bite into easily when they're eating. Okay, so when you're cutting your broccoli, if you have any of these broccoli leaves, you can just take those off and just put them to the side. We don't eat those. So once they're all cut into nice small pieces, we're just going to add them into the pot. Okay. Do one more. And again, I'm just keeping my fingers away from my knife where that's cutting. Okay, cutting into small florets. Okay, add that into our pot too. So that was about 2 heads of broccoli. Okay, and now to that, we're just going to add a half a cup of water. Get you to add that in. Perfect. And then I'll get you to add in a half a teaspoon of salt as well. The middle one there. Just this one right here.
Voila.
Perfect. I'm just going to level that off. Great. And just sprinkle that over top. So we add salt to the water because it helps keep our broccoli nice and bright and green when it's cooking. So we can go ahead and turn that on. And we're just going to steam our broccoli, so we don't want it to cook for very long. Perfect. And we're just going to cover that until it steams. Just takes a few minutes to cook, and we'll just check it to see if it's bright green and tender when we put a fork into it. So now that it's been about 30 minutes, we're going to check on our pork. That's great. All right. And just remember your pan is hot, so if you need to keep your oven mitt, keep it there so that you don't burn your hand. And we're ready to plate.
I'm ready.
Great. So I'm going to start with one of our pieces of pork. You can see the brown sugar sauce is nice and caramelized on there. And grab some, we'll take the lid off the broccoli. Great. And do you want to grab some broccoli? And on the back. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Just a few pieces on there. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll take our rice. Just move this over. And we'll scoop some rice on there. There we go. So there we have our pork chops with rice and steamed broccoli. Looks good.
Looks good.
Did you eat it?
I'd love to eat it right now if I had a chance.
Great. Thanks for your help today.
Thank you.